Hi everybody. What's up? What's up? World Cup is up. Actually, World Cup is up. So, this is going to be a short stream. Just to talk a bit before the match resumes. So yeah. So just want to catch up with you guys and share some one of the things that's happening uh over at DPA. Hi David. Hi Textured Fiber 93. Hi HB. Can you guys hear me? I'm going to bring out my mic. I'm so sorry. Yeah. Hi NATO. Hi Textured Fiber 93. Hi HB. Hi David. Hi Route. Is there any sound? Can you hear me? Doot 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 doot. Hi Get Insured. So can you guys hear me? Jigs. Yeah, better. Sorry, I forgot to bring out my mic. My mic was like, yes, awesome. So it's just a catch up, to see how you guys are doing because I have been away for a bit during the football tournament, Singa Cup. So I have been running the football tournament for almost a bit more than a week. So which was why I was really busy. Wasn't able to know it was this tournament. Yeah, so I was doing this tournament. This website is entirely done by me, all these things. So yeah, then I was been away for a long time. Then I wasn't able to do the open mic, and I wasn't able to do any of these things. And yeah, hi John, hi Miseke Diok or Giot Ikes. You look dark in your bunker, yeah. Because it's in the middle of the night. It's actually 2:27 a.m. here in Singapore, which is kind of late. So you guys subscribed to DPA War? I mean, yeah, have to subscribe because only 5,000, and the previous video got 32,000 views. 32,000 views, and yet there's only 5,000 subscribers. There's only 300 people sub out of these 32,000 views. So yeah, so a bit disappointing. It's like how much more do I need to do to get people to subscribe to DPA War? So it's very funny. Are you guys also boycotting the World Cup in Qatar, slave labor, etc.? I'm so sorry. I just subscribed to the World Cup package like just now because I want to watch the football. So yeah, I mean, hi Ocean, Tosca. Hi Shema. Are you guys watching World Cup? So it to me is boycotting the World Cup is it's just virtual signaling. I mean, it is there's nothing really much we can do about it. Regardless what happened in Qatar, all these alleged deaths and horrible working conditions in the building of the stadiums. What can we do about it? There's nothing we can do about it. The boycott would have done anything. The World Cup will still be played. It will still go on, and the players, the teams will still view the World Cup as a extremely important tournament. You don't really want to miss it. So Johnny Bravo 1234 asks, when will you do the open mic? I wanted to do it today, then I realized that some of you guys might be watching the World Cup, so I thought then it would be very disruptive, even for myself, because I also want to watch the World Cup. So yeah, but I know definitely have to do because it's been some time. Hi Nick from Ukraine. I hope you're well. I'm glad to see you got internet, because I know that there's a lot of electrical and network issues due to the Russian strikes. So stay safe, really. Avoid military positions. You see any military installations or anything that deal with like repairing tanks and everything, just don't get near to those places because it may be potential targets. And also don't be near power plants and transformers, and yeah, just stay safe. Why not do a watch party? I don't think I can stream the World Cup. I think I might get copyright strikes and all sort of shitty things. So no, not worth it. Not worth it. The story of 65,000 people dying is definitely not true. I don't think it's that many. 65, I mean not 65,000, I mean 6,500. Sounds a bit much. I don't think it's that many. But a few hundreds, I think a few hundred is probably the number which is causing the outrage. I don't think it's 6,000. so just to share some plans before the work, and now it's 2:30 a.m. in Singapore. 2:30 a.m. in Singapore. The match will start in like half an hour, so we can have an hour of chit chat. So just to share some plans, how many of you guys are here actually? 53, just 53. Yeah, people just don't want to catch up with me. Okay, let me change the title. Live chat with DPA. Before next match kick off. Yeah, maybe the title is horrible, so people don't want to watch, don't want to come online. Hi, Donetsk People's Republic. Hi, I can't read that word. The one that said about Yaroslav Yanushevich. Chef. No, I think that's a wrong spelling, right? Vuch. Anyway, he wants everyone to feel safer and every Russian collaborator to be punished. Yeah, hi Sandrook. Hi Hi. I forgot your name already, Nick. Yeah, hi Nick. Oh, New Zealand, 7:30 a.m. That's some horrendous time for watching World Cup. Hi Nelson. Slava DPA. Woo. So I just want to share some plans about what's happening now in DPA. So during the tournament, I was saying just now, I wasn't around. It was this tournament. I was at this tournament. This is actually, I'm the co-organizer for this tournament. So Joji is actually my other company. DPA is the other company. So my main company is actually Joji. So we have been doing Singa Cup for many years. So I was doing the tournament. So I really did not have time to update the map because it takes time to read the sources and update the map. So I wasn't able to do it. And so coming back, to DPA, the videos is not getting a lot it's not getting enough views somehow. Like we are getting like 30 over K views. So after that, I disappeared for 1 week. So you see, 8 days ago I came back, and the views just went to shit, like 24K, 31, because everybody love arrows. So that's not surprising, but like 16K, 23K. So this is one concern. The viewership has dropped. Not sure it's because people are just bored of the Ukraine war, or because people are angry because I'm not around for a week. And there is also, of course, a high likelihood because YouTube is suppressing the channel. And so there's a lot of weird stuff regarding the revenue on the YouTube side. So regardless about that, currently I'm in the plan of pushing the war reporting to the war channel, DPA war channel. So because the problem with this reporting on the war, especially for Ukraine war, is that we are reporting daily, right? So as we report daily, the YouTube algorithm is not happy. Like it would not want me to report or post any videos that are not Ukraine war related. And it also doesn't help when people who are interested only in the Ukraine war don't watch. Like for example, I did this very awesome video on the Remembrance Day in Singapore. It's the first time I actually attended it. It's very cool. I actually fully edited the video. Now only 3.2K viewers. So I can't even earn back the Uber money that I spent to go there. So it's actually not near my house. It's pretty far. So I can't even recoup the money. So it's quite sad. So this is one issue. So the war reporting, I'm trying to go to the war channel. The war channel is currently not monetized yet. We are still lacking viewing hours. I believe I will cross the viewing hours requirement within the next 1 or 2 days, because somehow the channel, the video, the Donetsk front analysis about the Opine Adivka region one, the Pisky region one, did super well, 32k, which is actually a lot higher than all the previous videos. So somehow it got promoted. So yeah, so I this alone got around 1.8k views, viewing hours. So that helps because we need 4,000 viewing hours. So yeah, once DPA War is monetized, then all the war reporting most likely will just come to this channel. So yeah, so that then we can actually report on other things like economics, geopolitics, and all the other issues. So yeah, so for you guys who haven't subscribed to DPA War channel, please go and subscribe. Yeah, thanks Acting Sane, thanks for subscribing to DPA War, because it's still me, it's still going to be me. It's just that I have to separate the content. If not, YouTube do not promote the videos the way how we would think it would promote. For example, I every 10 videos, 9 videos is Ukraine war. If I do one video on China, this video is not going to do well. So because we are so specialized into Ukraine war, so the idea is that pushing all the war reporting to DPA War, then we can actually talk about all sorts of different countries: India, Pakistan, Syria, then Turkey, the Europe, NATO, European Union. We can talk about all sorts of things. Then hopefully eventually, with the change, with increasing audience that are interested in other stuff, and YouTube will start to pull us out of this specialization. Then we can actually report more. If not, then if the videos are not going to do well, there is not enough revenue, then we cannot. It is not cost effective to do the video, so it's not that good. The new match, I think I write next match, right? Next match is USA versus Wales. So anyway, I just want to say hi to people. Hi, let me see. Hi, John Bowlers. Hi, Doughboy Jr. Hi, Shema. Hi, Rune. I think I hi Rune before already. Hi, Stanrook. Who else have? Hi, Random Click. Hi, Trout Skylight. I think I hi already. Hi, Brian Marshall. Hi, Daniel Patrici. Hi, Matthias. Hi, Raud. What else? Anya Ben Roy. Then who else? Sebastian Delgado. Hi. It won the rebel province of Peru. Soccer and lost the corrupt money. What? I don't know what you're talking about. Hi, Hamza. Hi, STV1. Hi, John Dutchman. Hi, Red Roger. Hi, Drunk Bear. Some names I can actually quite familiar. You guys always around. Hi, Bjorn Larson. Very destructive to transfer content to a new channel. It's gotten a Ukraine war profile now. No choice, because I have no choice. It is very destructive. It's very destructive. Yes, I agree. It's actually not easy, but it's a necessary pain. And it's just there's just no choice. For DPA to grow, for me to cover other topics, this is the only way forward. So unfortunately, that's the case. And Syrian war kind of flare up again. The Turkey attack the YPG, and then the Iranians also moved against the Kurds in northern Iraq. I want to report on it. I haven't do the mapping yet. The map in Syria is a bit complicated, so yeah, I'll try to get that done. Then we can start report one more war other than the Ukraine war. That would be pretty interesting. Could you live off your YouTube income yet? Edmund asks. Yes, actually, yes. I can actually do YouTube full time. already. So currently I do two jobs. So one is this Joji. This is actually my design company. This is actually my main full-time job. So this is my main full-time job. This is my own company, and this DPA is my like second full-time job. So it's my second new company kind of thing, where because of the Ukraine war, then the YouTube exploded and then managed to bring me revenues, which then I'm able to do it full-time as well. So I actually have two full-time income, but at the same time I have two full-time job. So actually I have no life. So I wake up, I work, eat, work, sleep. That's my life. So it's very hard to find time to do anything else. So sometimes if I were to do anything else, is sacrificing DPA, because so sometimes sometimes the in terms of the, when you look at like skipping days, like I have 2 days reports, 2 days reports. Sometimes this is because I was busy working on other stuff, or maybe there's a family outing, then I have no time to do the reports. So this is the reason, because DPA at least ultimately is still flexible, it's still up to me. But when I come to my my design business, I can't really skip. There is a deadlines that I need to meet, then I have to meet the deadlines. So don't meet the deadlines could be devastating. I can't get into a lawsuit, I'm very poor. So yeah. Hi Shafi, hi R51R400. And this very hard to pronounce name, ask me where was the Polish air defense. So the Polish already explained that they are unable to intercept something that is so near to the border, because it's basically the missiles is mostly flying in Ukraine, and when it hits, it's basically at the border region. There is no way the Polish air defense can do anything. So USA waiting for USA versus Iran. The Joseph Starling. Hi Joseph. What is going on with the Ukrainian borderlanders? I don't know what's that. So Drunk Bear asks, they say big convoy of Kosovo police is moving to the border with Serbia. Do you see a flare up of the conflict? You're on the Sigma grind set. The Kosovo, the reason why I didn't cover much of the Serbian Kosovo issue is that there's a lot of hype. Like there's so much hype, about the situation at Kosovo and Serbia border, and I was planning to report on it months ago. It kept turning out to be nothing. So I stopped to care until something really actually happened. Because if I report on it, I'm just adding on to this hype or this misinformation or this hysteria. So I'm trying not to get into that as well. Prematurely. I've seen quite a bit of things, changing of license plate laws and build up of forces, tentatively Serbia also have been pulling some forces towards the front, towards the border region. It's just due diligence. I don't see that as a big problem. I don't think Serbia is ready to invade Kosovo. I don't think they are ready for the consequences. So Serbia is not Ukraine. Serbia do not want to harass and get themselves into a major war with a major power, which is NATO, which they cannot win the war. So unlike Ukraine pick a fight with Russia and then expect the world to help them. So yeah, don't think so. So is Ukraine the new Gaza? Not yet. Ukraine is too huge to be Gaza. Let me see. Turkey blamed the US backed Kurds for the bomb in Turkey. Yeah, so there's this suicide bombing a planted bomb. I didn't think it's suicide bombing. Yeah, it's a planted bomb in Turkey. I didn't report on it. Like I said, I was too busy. There's too much things on my hand. There's so many things I want to report. So that's the problem with having two full-time jobs. I just unable to to just report on everything. But from what my understanding is that the Americans sent their condolences, and it was totally rejected by the Turkish, because based on their intel, they feel that, or they analyze that it's actually, you know, conducted or instigated or organized by the Americans. So, you know, they do not view the Americans very well at this moment. And I'm not too sure, you know, what the suicide bomb or the bombing, the terrorist bombing could do to Turkey. I can't, at the moment I cannot see the strategic sense of doing that yet. So maybe I haven't really read enough. Did you say Ukraine picked the fight? Yes, route. Yes. Because, for example, if you meet a big bully, you know, very huge guy, you know, a lot of muscles, then you say, hey, beef meat, you know, then after that, then the big guy say, don't call me beef meat. Then you say, hey, beef meat, stop calling me beef meat. Don't care, I just want to call you beef meat. Then he punch you. It's your fault. You understand? You understand the logic? So in the same sense, Ukraine insists that they want to join NATO. Then Russia says that this is the red line that they will not accept. And Ukraine, regardless what the Russians say, insisted they will want to join NATO. And it doesn't help that the NATO countries do not, you know, simmer down the situation. They kept saying that, you know, Ukraine have their own rights to join NATO. No one even wants to lie. They don't even want to, you know, to temper down the temperature. They just want the temperature to flare up. And Ukraine just stupidly, you know, thinking that the Europeans are going to help them. So they doubled down on it, and then war happened. This is what I mean by Ukraine pick a fight. You do not provoke a country that is way powerful than you, and expect nothing to happen. Yeah. If you provoke, you must also know where is the limit. If you provoke to the point where they already gathered forces all around your country and threatening to invade you, and you think that they are bluffing, yeah, then you deserve to be punched in a way. So, too many arrows on your thumbnail at DPA War. Go with sit rep. I mean, there's a different thing. Sit rep is sit rep. The arrows are arrows. You know, arrows are analysis. You need the arrows to analyze. And sit rep is basically just reporting on the, you know, the situation at the moment. You know, situation. Sit rep is actually situation report. So it's just reporting on the situation. Whereas the arrows actually is trying to, you know, talk about the analysis. You know, where the directions are coming. So yeah. So yes, the for rounds, the invader is still Russia. Yeah, it's true. Russia is still the invader, and is still the aggressor in this war, without a doubt. They are the aggressor. And I'm totally not impressed with the way how they annexed the 4 regions. Because they haven't even conquered all four regions except for Luhansk, and they immediately lost Bilohorivka. So and of course further up north, over the Sviatove France, Crimea France, they're really losing towns at Luhansk. So I think the annexation is premature, but, you know, Putin need the excuses to do mobilization. So without the excuse, they can't mobilize. So yeah. Do you try to use shapes for arrows in Photoshop? By the way, it's too much work. It's actually Photoshops. This is not shapes actually. This is just a paintbrush. It's just a paintbrush. What else do I see? Ukraine is the bait worm. Russia is the fish. Yes, yeah. Russia is baited into this war. The NATO, the Americans wanted this war, and Ukraine stupidly get used by the Westerners to wage this war to weaken Russia or to mess with Russia. Somehow the Russians are really prepared for this war for the past 8 years. So it's just that the West didn't seem to realize how much Russia is prepared. No, so it's a matter of philosophy, or you know, how prepared do you think Russia is for this war and all this economic warfare that is happening. Is really up to, you know, your own opinion. You know, I personally discourage the war. I actually even wrote articles on it to discourage the war, because it's just a stupid thing to do. And in the end, the war still broke out. So there's nothing we can do about it. What's the thoughts on Ukraine leaving Kherson city? You mean the civilians? I don't think the forces leaving. They only evacuate the people. So there is no power. There's no water. So evacuating the civilians seems very natural. I don't think it's a big deal. And plus, it's going to be the front line. No, if they do not evacuate the civilians, eventually the Western media is going to question it. Ruthless efficient. Hi, ruthlessly efficient. Asked that Russia invaded Ukraine. I read the wrong one. Do you think Russia will go for Kiev again? Yes, I think so. The northern front will open again. I feel so. David Spring, yeah, the SIPREP is SIPREP. So there is two different type of reports. So it really, if you prefer the SIPREP, just watch the SIPREP. Don't watch the analysis. If you like the analysis, just watch the analysis. Don't watch the SIPREP. Or you like both, just watch both. No. Lex Krivorukov. Hi Lex. What do you think I should prepare for the second wave of mobilization? I didn't serve the army for 22 years because of skill losses. I'm not sure what skill losses, but if you have health problem, I don't think you'll be mobilized. But I personally think that the Russia will have 2 more rounds of mobilization, partial mobilization. That's my opinion. 300,000 troops is not enough for the Russians to win this war. I believe they need 2 more rounds so that they can ramp up at least up to 1 million troops. So because 300,000 troops is merely the mobilized troops, there is also, of course, there's the Chechen forces is not within the numbers. There is also the Donetsk and Luhansk militias. There is also not within these numbers. There is also those South Ossetians and then the Azerbaijan people. They are also not counted within these 300,000. So there are other troops that is within the Ukraine war already, including the regulars, the contractors, the contract soldiers, and of course we have the Wagner PMCs. So, but with the 300,000 plus whatever there is inside Ukraine is still not enough. I believe there will be 2 more rounds of mobilization, so that the mobilized troop will go up to 1 million, and that will definitely end the Ukraine war. There's no way Ukraine can win this war when the Russians do that. But tentatively, the Putin seems to seems to work very conservatively. Somehow he's like the big brother trying to talk to the small brother, trying to like convince Zelensky to just give up. So he's slowly ramping up, but yet he's not getting what he wants, and eventually Russia will go into a more serious warring posture, I feel. Annex let me see what else. Sorry, there's starting to be a lot of message because I'm too talkative. So we have 5 minutes before the World Cup start, the match start. This war is essentially inevitable since 2005 Orange Revolution in Ukraine. US had this all the time, almost 20 years. Trying to change their course, if you want to avoid it, they continue pushing. I wouldn't say it's inevitable since 2005. I say it's inevitable since 2014. Because Ukraine could have played like Turkey, their diplomacy, they can be like a really snaky, double head snake kind of country, play both sides, and like Turkey, what Turkey is doing, and you can actually thrive, if you do that. But Ukraine just cannot do foreign diplomacy properly, unfortunately. Singapore had no army whatsoever. The English lied to the Singaporeans and fled overnight. Japan was awful to the locals. If you're talking about World War II, yeah, no. In World War II, right, in Malaya and Singapore, the Allied forces actually outnumbered the Japanese by almost 3 times. There's almost more than 3 times troops. And if the Allied forces did not surrender in Singapore, and they decide to go into urban warfare, they really fight to the end, the Japanese would have lost the initiative, and then the Allied forces would have counterattacked, and they would have won the war over in the Malaya region, because the Japanese are entirely out of they really did not have enough ammunition and supplies to actually conquer the entire Malaya and Singapore region. They just got lucky and they bluffed and they succeeded. I actually have a book. I highly recommend you guys to find this book if you're interested. Wrong book, sorry, wrong book. The book is not here. I'm so sorry. That's the wrong book. There is this book written by the planner, the chief of staff for the Japanese forces. That planned this and prepared the campaign in Malaya. He actually referenced Churchill's account, and then he wrote his book, and he got both sides of the story, the British side, the Japanese side. And the Japanese are really, impressed by certain parts of their Allied forces. Like they are really impressed and respect the Australians, because in their entire campaign, the Australians fought the hardest against them. The Indian troops are the worst. They literally just surrender, and they also realize that the Indian troops under the British Empire don't really have any fight in them. They just yes sir to their officer, and they just get by. They don't really fight. Yeah, something like this. Commander need to order more smashing of the like button. Yes, actually, I realized lately, right, the like button clicking is not enough. I really need to do something about it. Maybe we have to start the like button thingy again. Maybe from time to time. And so if America empty their storage of weapons, can they still defend Alaska? Yes. Americans have way more weapons and ammunition, especially in the private hands. The normal people are also very heavily armed. So no one would dare to invade America. It's just not worth it. So I just want to add, I've started soliciting people to write for DPA. The first article is already up. Is by Alex. And this article is about the NATO breaking ranks with Ukraine, and it's a pretty nice article. I'm planning to do this into a video as well. Hopefully I'm able to do it. Yeah, so that's the plan, and we're going to be more of this kind of thing. I think there's report on Morocco. There's another one on Poland as well about this incident, and so there are a lot of things happening. I'm trying to get to do everything. So, and I will be hanging out in the DPA Discord a lot more often. So do join the DPA Discord. The link should be in the description below. If it's not, then you will find the link. It's just somewhere. Discord channel. If you use Discord, yeah, it is a nice community, but a little bit restrictive. Because of the term of service by the Discord. So a lot of things cannot do. Like, for example, no gore. And have you received any information and news about Russia's production capacity and such? No. But don't be surprised. Russia have a very good production for war stuff like bullets and artillery shells and stuff. Because ultimately they are Russia, and I want to keep reminding people, Russia's military is designed or planned to deal with the entire of NATO. They because they don't really have military peers. The only threat to them is Americans, and the Americans, of course, would mean the whole of NATO. So the Russian military is designed to fight with NATO. Although they will lose the conventional war, that's for sure. I don't think they are able to win against the Americans in the conventional war. But put that into perspective, that the Russians have to prepare themselves against the Americans and the NATO forces. They're going to have a lot of weapons and ammunitions and lying around. So it's not going to run out of ammunition anytime soon. So how sustainable war actually is nowadays. No, it's not sustainable at all. You realize that eventually the war will all result in what we are seeing now, fighting with very low tech weapons, just simple artillery, bullets, rifles, trenches, because the high tech weapons are very expensive. So it's not sustainable to fight purely with high tech weapons. You see, even the Russians, they use a lot of the very old tanks, the Soviet era tanks, the Ukrainians too, because this is just not worth it to send in all your T-90s. You cannot find the DPA War link in description. Okay, let me drop the link. Actually, you can just go to the channel, and then you go to the main channel. Just click channels. It's actually here. So I just gonna copy the link. Copy link. Yeah. DPA War. And then pin message. Yeah. So for those that haven't subscribed to DPA War, please subscribe to DPA War. I don't know what else to say. No. You went to search. You cannot find in search. You just type DPA War. No, DPA War. Ta-da! You will appear in the first place. What's up? What's up with that tag? Crap. Never mind. Yeah, actually the handle is actually DPA War. So if you go to YouTube, DPA War, you actually get to the DPA War channel. Yeah. So Angel Martinez Rivera, no worries. No, it's just a very short stream. I just finished watching the match between Senegal and Netherlands. Cannot believe Netherlands managed to win in the dying minutes, somehow scoring 2 goals. So just before the Wales and USA game start, just thought that maybe I do a short stream, just do a catch up with you guys, because it's been some time I go live already. So I just thought, chit chat with you guys, and I promote the DPA War channel. I really need you guys to subscribe over there. Yeah, so eventually I want to push all the war coverage over to DPA War channel. Tentatively, it's just the arrow ones, and I will be double posting. So for those that are wondering, I will be double posting everything that I post on DPA War to the main channel until DPA War channel is monetized. Because if not, then there is no revenue on this channel. So I have to double post so that at least I earn some money for the work, that at least get things going. Hi Vaunt Festus. Hi Mason Miet. Thanks for the super chat. Wow, that's a lot of money. So thank you so much for the super chat, Mason. Yeah, so I think the match have started, but I stay a while here more. Let me I can just play the feed without the sound. Yeah, it's 2 minutes now. It's still 0-0. Actually, I can just watch and chit chat with you guys at the same time. I just don't want to play the sound. Like the sound here. Everybody in the Welsh half. Yeah, so there's some sound. That's the sound, but I don't have to watch the sound. Can you recommend an overview of casualties? No, because the casualty numbers are all wrong. So no, don't bet on anyone's number. Not even the Ministry of Defense numbers. It's never accurate. For example, the Russians, when they report their own casualties, they're talking only purely their own servicemen. They did not include the Donetsk People's Republic and Luhansk People's Republic militias inside it. They do not include the Wagner PMC inside it. So it's inaccurate. Edmund asked, is Singapore in the World Cup? No, Singapore football is not that good. As much as we love football, no, our football, we can't even get into the top 10 in Asia. So if you cannot be in the top 10, then you can't really go to the World Cup. Yeah, David. I just play the stream, just to show that I actually started the stream, started the to the open the match on the side. And Russia is going to be a puppet of China? No. OK asked would Russia be the puppet of China, because don't think I don't think China is in the position where they can their economics is actually very weak. They seems very successful, very rich, but they actually not that secure. A lot of the economic growth is a bubble, a lot, because they build a lot of infrastructure, and then they build the infrastructure, and then of course then there's economic activities, which means that the GDP actually will be artificially pushed up, and thus there's growth. But then if you build infrastructure, where the money come from? It come from future money. You take loans, and you print money. So when you do that, you're taking money from the future, and they have been doing this for too much. So China is not in the right place. Even though they seems very strong now, they are pretty much strong on the surface, but inside is very hollow kind of situation, and Russia know it very well. So Russia will never bow down to China. So yeah, and China is very dependent on Russia to stick to the China side, because if the Russia took the side of the Europeans, then China will be isolated. They don't really have friends. So I don't think China is the country that in a global geopolitical sense, the one to be worried about. But they are still a big major problem in terms of geopolitics. Source say DPR post quite accurate numbers. Yeah, DPR post numbers, but the numbers are not reported by the Russian Defense Ministry, so it's separate. You have to kind of get the numbers from different places. Ruthlessly Efficient asks, what's my favorite football team? Normally I follow my own national team, Singapore national team, and I follow Chelsea Football Club. So Chelsea, then I like good football teams. Generally speaking, I like good football. And during the World Cup, I traditionally always support Brazil and Japan and South Korea. So, and this time round I will be supporting Portugal too, because I want Cristiano Ronaldo to win the World Cup, so that they can give the middle finger to Manchester United. So they did an awesome job if you compare to what China used to be in the pre-90s. Oh, of course. Put it this way: if you are poor, okay, then I give you a credit card. Then you use the credit card. Maybe the credit card have a huge amount of money that you can actually loan out, or you can spend on, and then you make yourself you use the credit card to buy a nice house, a nice car, nice clothing, go do a makeover, and you look awesome. You're definitely better than before you had a credit card. Are you better? That's the question. So, hey, little psycho, keep the blue flag flying high. So yeah, but don't worry about football. Chelsea is shit nowadays, because they changed the coach. So I have no mood to watch Chelsea games. Switching coaches is not a problem. It's switching to a lousy coach when you apparently have a very good coach that want to stay. That's the pain. So never mind. Man United fans are not having much better nowadays, right? Also, not a lot of pain. So Daniel Petrucci, I don't know how to pronounce that word. Petrucci. Do you think the Russians launched an offensive from Belgorod and cut off the Ukrainian army on Svatove front? And that's what I think they will do. But even the Ukrainians don't think they are going to do that. Because the Ukrainians are tracking the Russian troops numbers, and they do not see a threat from the northern front. Not even from Belarus now. So even in their reports, they no longer say that there's a threat of invasion from Belarus. They only say that mostly they say more like, the Belarus is still participating in these operations by allowing the Russians to operate from Belarus. So it's that kind of sense. It's not really. I don't think there is a threat of a new front just yet. I think not enough troops. Wow, the Americans almost scored. Just clone drop bar already. And yeah, little Siko, going to Tuchel to put Portal is stupid. Yeah, it's more than stupid. It's unbelievable. I think that Tuchel have signed Cristiano Ronaldo, I don't think I don't think he will be sacked. That's what I think. And Chelsea will not have striker problem. Yeah, so what else? So yeah, so the just coming back to DPA, what I want to say. So okay, for the DPA IRL, if you guys know, the open mic is actually hosted on this, mainly on this channel. And what happens is that I'm getting people from within the community to help to be video editors. So I actually got 2 guys already helping to edit the open mic, and they're currently editing episode 3, open mic episode 3, which is which is this one. They're currently editing this one. And it's a paid gig. So unfortunately, I do not think I got a feeling that it might not be cost effective because they are taking a bit long. So but let's see how it goes, because what happens is that I tell them to break down the video into a lot of small videos so that I can have content to post on DPA IRL, and it also helps to highlight the different topics that we discuss about, so that this conversation actually gets seen by people, because 3 hours streams are a bit long for many people. So breaking it down into smaller pieces might help people to kind of digest better. And currently they're editing. I'm not sure. DPA IRL is monetized, but I'm not sure how well all these videos will do. So I got a bad feeling that it may not pay for itself, and if it does not pay for itself, then I cannot continue to hire them. So but let's see how this goes. They are only editing episode 3, so let's do episode 3 videos first, and then let's see how this goes. Yeah, the Taiwan guy, I don't know why he need to spam. Like, I'm pro Taiwan, so I do not know why he have to spam. It does not do anything. Yeah, so for those that don't understand why I have so many channels, it's mainly because of my experience, that because of the coverage, on DPA, the main channel, where I post about Ukraine war on a daily basis, any other videos that is non-Ukraine war just don't do well. They just do badly. So which is why there's a need for multiple channels for different type of contents, so that the channel can the different type of content actually have a chance to propagate. So that's why I'm trying to do this. So Mason super chat is like a lot, so I'm gonna wait for the Mason super chat to fully run finish. So then I will turn off the stream. Yeah, just for to respect the money that he's invested into this stream. For those that are interested, it's still 0-0 at 30 minutes. USA and Wales. Babylon wages war on Babylon. Babylon vanquished the evils of Babylon. Babylon fought and Babylon rises. The wars are unreal, but the genocide of your people are. How they massacre you like cattle. Yeah. So what else? Any other questions? Any things you want to know? The oh, I'm also gonna do the DPA Gaming channel. If you guys like to play war games, like first-person shooters, RTS, geopolitical games, economic games, yeah, in the future, that's what this channel will be focusing on. There's a community game on Hoi 4, the Heart of Iron 4, which I actually bought the game just 2 days ago, and I already played once, and so I have some sense of how the game is played. There is a community game coming from on the DPA Discord channel, on the Discord server. They are currently organizing it. There's one guy who will be modding it to do custom nations, so it sounds very exciting. I'm not sure if I will be participating as a gamer, or I will just go in to spectate and commentate. I planning to record it and maybe put it up on this channel. So thinking about it. So Gravy Team is the best RTS going. Really? I saw someone recommend Gravy Team, and it's the World War II one, right? Gravy Team. Does this war it reminds you of the Iran-Iraq war? Then not really, because I don't know a lot about the Iran-Iraq war. I only know that it was a very horrible war. A lot of people died senselessly, and the war is a lot more primitive than this Iran-Iraq war. The Russia have not really gone into this war, in a very conventional way. They fought mostly very conservatively, which is why it's a bit unusual. Which is why a lot of the analysts kept getting it wrong, because the Russians are just not behaving naturally. They're just not normal in this war. Front mission 3. No, I don't know what's that. Toe Jam and when do you guys think the rest of the soldiers will arrive? I think they will arrive in 1 month's time. I got a feeling that they originally, the Russians say that they'll be the mobilized troops will go through 2 weeks training. I think they changed the plan. So which is why most of the troops are still not at the front yet. Most of them went through additional training. More training. I think the main reason was because the front line held. The front line really held, and there's no need to rush the troops into the front line. So the Russians seems to take additional time to train the mobilized troops, and there are certain units that are getting horrible instructors, according to rumors, like fake instructors. There are also units not getting enough ammo, not getting enough training and weapons, and as a result, there's a lot of things to solve on the Russian side. So which is why I think a lot of these timelines are delayed, and they are spending more time to properly train the troops before sending them into Ukraine. Russia today is not the Russia of Soviet Union. They kind of take the lives of these soldiers a lot more seriously than let's say what the Ukrainians leadership think of their soldiers, because like the Ukrainians, they send them on offensive that is pretty much suicidal, and the Russians are not doing this kind of thing. They don't really want to do this kind of thing, and which is why the first month of war, I think really pissed off Putin quite a bit, because a lot of this, some of them are not even professional soldiers. Some of them are just conscripts, which then was actually against the law of Russia, and Putin actually get his guys to find out who the hell sent the conscript into the special military operation, and I think the relevant people got punished, as far as I understand. Yeah, so Joseph Stalin is correct. We because we like to think that, you know, everything that's happening on the Russian side, you know, Putin says Putin, you know, ordered a command, but the reality is that Russia is a huge country. There's a lot of corruption, there's a lot of hierarchy, there's a lot of people who just want to cover their backside, there are a lot of people who just, you know, they don't know what they're doing, and they're just, you know, they just smoking their way through life. And so now when the war gets serious, things really happening, then, you know, such people get called out for their incapability. So which is why there's a lot of change in commanders and generals throughout these 9 months, where on the Russian side, you know, people who proven to lie, people who proven to not effective at commanding their troops, you know, bad strategies, all of them got changed. So, you know, even for the Russian side, it's also kind of like a evolution of sort. You know, they are still trying to improve their command and control. The mobilization did not really go smoothly, a lot of problems, and they're trying to iron out all these things before the next mobilization, I believe. So what else do you guys talk about? Mao Zedong, the great chairman, greets the people in front of the screens. Warm regards to DPA. Hi Mao. I'm not a fan of yours, if you want to know. Russia needs to do serious shit if you want to win. The serious shit will come eventually, I believe. I mean, there are some serious shit already, right? Like some of the missile strikes are rather serious. But no, the Russians also did not really destroy the capability to generate power. Not for all. Like they actually strike the ability for the Ukrainians to transmit power. They did not really hit the power plants per se, because some of them are nuclear power plant. You don't really want to hit it, but no, they really hit the transformers and everything to just break up the power grid. So that's what the Russians are doing. Does China have a social credit system? Yes, they have. All the memes about the social credit system is real. It's absolutely real. Do you know that there's this MMA guy in China who beat up this kung fu, the Tai Chi master. So there's this guy who says he's the Tai Chi master, and then saying that, you know, he's very good, and then he got challenged by this MMA guy, and the MMA guy is called Xi Xiaodong, and then he basically bashed the kung fu master up. Then after that, they have a few more fights. Another famous one was he fought with the one with the, what is it called? What is this called? I cannot remember the martial art name. Not Chikundo. Yongchun, yeah, Yongchun. So basically, the Yongchun master fought with this MMA guy, and then he also got beaten up. So, but because this Xi Xiaodong, right, you know, he messed with all these people, all these kung fu masters, which actually these kung fu masters are, you know, they have some status within the Chinese world, and like, you know, some of these politicians actually back them. So the Xi Xiaodong got his social credit rating deducted so badly that he cannot even take train. So he actually went to, I think, Xinjiang or somewhere very far away to fight one of the fights, and he cannot take the train, so he had to take super long ride. He cannot take the train, he cannot take the plane, so he had to take, you know, don't know, bus or car ride, you know, far away. Yeah, so and by the way, if you want to follow him, he's actually on YouTube as well, Xi Xiaodong, but he speaks in Chinese, so I'm not sure if you can understand. So let me find, if you guys are interested. And by the way, it's 23 minutes. Wales and United States is still 0-0. 徐小东. Okay, foul. Yeah. So this is the link to Xi Xiaodong's YouTube. It's mostly in Chinese. So and this is legit because there's 470,000 subscribers. So yeah, he's a very interesting guy. He's very rough. He's the Chinese redneck kind of guy, but he's very honest guy. He's the kind of guy just like me. No, we are just very blunt. So I like blunt people. People who just say things as it is. High world crisis, World War III intel. I'm watching the World Cup, but I cannot get off the stream because someone threw a very expensive super chat, and I have to respect the super chat, and I have to respect the money that is invested in DPA. Just for information, the super chat, the super stickers, everything that's money on YouTube, that when you donate money through YouTube actually takes a 30% cut. So so if let's say you give me $1, I actually only get 70 cents. So just this thing you need to know. And if you are a subscriber on Patreon, I think Patreon takes 10%. I think it's 10%. If you go to Ko-fi, ko-fi.com /Defense Politics Asia, Ko-fi gave the creators 100%. So which is also why in the longer term I'm planning to move everything to Ko-fi in terms of the Patreon. I'm thinking about that. So it's because you get 100% of the money that you guys donate, which is I think more fair to me, or more fair to you. Yeah, it's 30%. Let me find the link. I'm not joking. YouTube super chat card. Let me find. No, okay, there's a subreddit. Let me find a more legit one. Google support. Revenue share. So you see, so this is about super chat and super stickers, and if you can see, 70%, the creators receive 70% of the revenue. So 30% is actually taken by YouTube. They say that is to cover transaction costs like credit card fee, and of course whatever fee, fee. So yeah, so it's a 30% cut. I think Patreon is smaller. Patreon I think is 10%. Let me check. Patreon cut. Oh, so sorry. I'm fake news. It's 5%. Oh, sorry, it's not 5%. It's more than that. 5, 8, 12. I think mine is 5%. No, mine is the Pro. I don't know. Actually, what's my plan? Is there a plan? I never heard that. I never know that there's a plan. Let me check. Setting 5%. So my plan is called Founders, which is not here. So yeah, it's 5% cut. Patreon takes a 5% cut. So Ko-fi is much better. So in case you guys never see Patreon before, this is Patreon. So this is Patreon. Yep. So I do share a bit about like when I disappear, I actually tell my patrons that I disappear. I actually share. And then I actually have a rest day. Actually sometimes I share photos. So there's something interesting about the Patreon. I just share a bit more about my personal life. I used to want to share more controversial shit on it, but didn't really have a chance to. Then Oh, thank you NGS for the super chat. Before I get to your question, so this is the coffee, KOFI. So let me know, kofi.com/defense politics Asia. So coffee.com is more interesting. They also know, they basically now have upgraded to the point where it's basically just like Patreon. So they can do monthly and they can do one time. So it's quite cool. So I'm thinking of migrating everything here. I think it will be quite cool. Thinking about it. So that's one way, And so NGS asks, when and what do you expect from Russian mobilization? When? The mobilization is already done. They are all in training right now. So what do I expect? I actually did a video on it. What do I expect? In terms of what to expect. Is actually on DPA IRL, I think. Wrong channel. IRL. So I did a video called, what can the Russians do with this 300,000 this one. What can Russia do with its 300,000 partial mobilization troops? So I actually did a video on this. So basically I talk about how they can actually attack from they attack Zaporizhia, and push Kherson, but of course this pushing of Kherson is already went to hell already, because they already abandoned the entire coastal, the entire Kherson north of Dnipro River, so that makes it pointless. Coffee, how do coffee make money? I have no idea how coffee make money actually. I think I searched before but I forgot. So or they might actually invade through Belarus and the northern front. So they might actually go for Kharkiv again, go for Sumy. No, I'm really not sure where they will go, but a troop movement of such scale will not be easily covered or done in secret. The Ukrainians definitely will see, and they will be prepared for it. Especially, I think the Americans will basically that with their intel network, they'll definitely share and tell the Ukrainians about it. Li Keqiang declared the 20th party of the Chinese Communist Party open. Interestingly, by saying Chinese Communist Party, Li Keqiang is definitely anti-Russia, anti-CCP, because the people who are pro-CCP will actually say a Communist Party of China. So R51 R4 00 say that I'm an honest man. Yeah, I'm always honest. That's the whole point about me. Is I just want to be honest as much as I can. And how Singaporeans relate themselves with Chinese. What's the sentiment of Singaporean towards China's role as Western Pacific regional player? Okay. Singapore 70% of the population is Chinese. In terms of race, racially we are Chinese, 70% or up to 70%. So innately we kind of understand China a bit, because Chinese culture is pretty shared, because like we watch Chinese shows from Taiwan, Hong Kong, some nowadays China. We already innately expect China to one day become very strong. So it's inevitable to us that China will become a major regional player. It's just not expected. There's nothing surprising about it. So and in terms of Singaporean Chinese or Singaporean towards China Chinese, the relationship is that it's a mix, because the impression that we get of the China people is warped, because the people who come to Singapore, there's mainly a few groups. One is the super rich, one is the students, and then there's one group is the very low educated workers, laborers, or all these people who come and work jobs that Singaporeans do not want to work. So, and the people that we see the most is not the rich people and it's not the students, it's actually the final part. So for a good period of time, Singaporeans don't really have very good impression of China people, because we're only seeing all the very rough people, the people who are not that educated. So there's some kind of a superiority complex from the Singaporean side, that we look down on the Chinese people. But the reality is that what we're seeing is only the lowest subset of people from China. When you actually go, like for example, when I go to China, normal Chinese people are just like Singaporean. They're just like you and me. They're very normal. The people who are educated, they are very fashionable. They dress well. They talk well. And generally, Chinese people themselves, the Chinese nationals, the normal citizens, they are all very polite people, very nice people. Like really nice. They are really nice people. So, so in terms of that, I think Singaporeans don't really have a problem with China people, and in fact we have no problem with rich China people. Like we welcome the rich people, the China people who are currently running away from Hong Kong and China. We welcome them. We want these people who can contribute to the economy of Singapore to come. We are just that practical people. So, but we are also very wary of China, like because China have used its geopolitical weight to bully Singapore, and the investment. Singapore is one of the biggest investor to China, and a lot of our money got scammed. Like like Singapore actually invested in an industrial park called the Suzhou Industrial Park. You know what the Chinese did? You know what China do? They literally copied the whole thing and built a competitor just next to the Suzhou Industrial Park. The exact same thing. They just copied and just pasted it on the side, and competed against the Singaporean one. And Singapore lost a lot of money. And United States just got a goal on the 35th minute against Wales. So yeah, so if you ask me why you so anti-CCP, so why so anti-China, the reality is China don't give a damn about anyone outside of China. They view themselves as the center of the universe. At least the leaders, the way how they run China, they only see potential threats and enemies. They don't see friends. They don't see they only see interest. They only see who can benefit them, who will threaten them. And Singapore used to be one that always been beneficial to have as a friend and as investors and everything, and to connect with the world. But as China learn English, they get better at globalization, at trade. They do not need Singapore anymore, just like they did not need Hong Kong anymore. Which is why taking back Hong Kong, destroying it in the world stage, like Hong Kong no longer have the special trade status. It doesn't really matter to China. China has already outgrown the need for Hong Kong. They have already outgrown the need for Singapore, which is why they just chuck Hong Kong aside and just let Hong Kong rot. And which is also why they can turn around and stab Singapore. And that's just how China is. So you ask me why I anti-CCP. I find a country like that very scary. That's all. What do you think of the Western criticism of World Cup? NGS asked. Very valid. I think it's very valid. I think that it makes no sense for Qatar to host the World Cup. I think Qatar population is smaller than Singapore. Let me check. Qatar population. Qatar population is not even half of Singapore. So Qatar's population is 2.83 million. Singapore's population is 5 to 6 million. So let's say I change to Singapore. Singapore population is double. It's 5.7, and actually by now it's probably 6 million. So if you talk about the 2.83 million people country to run a World Cup is too immense. an event for a country of that size. So and they can't really cope. And not to mention that, you know, having the World Cup in the middle of the European League season is horrendous. I think we didn't have the normal build up of the World Cup, if you ask me. Like usually we have this hype, right? As the World Cup comes, you know, we get more and more excited. You know, all the leagues finish, we know who are the winners, and then, you know, all the players go into end their season with their club, and then go into the World Cup. You know, we have that kind of sense. We have that for the Asian countries because we are running on the January to December season, but this World Cup just doesn't feel correct because most of these top footballing nations all have seasons from July to June, so it just feels weird. And the build up to the World Cup is also very lackluster, if you ask me. There's not enough marketing and branding. Like it feels very tame because the football world is so engrossed with the ongoing season, so there is no time to build up the World Cup. There is no build up to the World Cup. And if you ask me, I ask you, do you even know what is the World Cup theme song? Have you heard of the World Cup theme song? I don't even hear of the theme song. I don't even know what's the theme song. Is there even a theme song? So it's horrible. I don't know. So I think that's quite bad in that sense. So Russia and China are going to compete after US is gone from global stage. Russia and China are going to compete. You forgot about India. So and I'm not sure, to be honest, if Russia and China would actually compete. Depend on what they compete, you know. Depends on what they compete. China, without a doubt, final aim is to become the most powerful country in the world. Without a doubt. The problem is getting there. Getting there is really, really hard because China do not have enough natural resources to get there. So whereas Russia have the potential to do it, but they do not have the population to do it. So, you know, Russia have everything. They have technology, they have resources, natural resources, they have oil, gas, they have everything except population. They don't have the population. So China have the population, but they do not have the resources. So it will be a very interesting competition. And then we have India as well, so you don't forget about India. But if you ask me, a superpower must have all the resources, which is why the British Empire used to be a superpower. They have all the resources in the world because of all the colonies that they have in India, Myanmar, Southeast Asia, Middle East, and that makes the British a superpower because they have the resources. The British today is not the superpower, and they have no potential to become a superpower unless they can colonize multiple countries again. And that's also what China is trying to do because they are unable to become a superpower just on their own. They have to subjugate or enslave or colonize certain countries, be it financially, economically, or diplomatically somehow, to gain all these resources to feed their economy, to feed their military industrial complex. Then they can become a superpower. Tentatively for China, they cannot. So, which is why you have to watch China very differently, you know, from how you watch United States, because China do not have the potential to become a superpower unless they are able to colonize countries to secure resources, which is also why they are building the Belt and Road. They are trying to secure, you know, harbors for their navy, because without these harbors they cannot project power. So, and without all these pipelines and railway, they cannot go around the sea lanes. And that's why China's moves are not for the world, it's for themselves, just that it happens to help part of the world, you know. So that's how I look at it. Criticism regarding workers and gay rights, I think the workers one are quite legit, but what can we do? There's nothing we can do about. That's what NGS asked in the super chat. I don't think we can do much about we don't do much about the workers thingy, about Qatar. Gay rights stuff. I saw one interview. I don't think Qatar have a problem with gays per se. At least in the World Cup. They say the problem they have is no public display of affection. I think that's what they demand from the visitors to Qatar. Please do not publicly display your affection. So I think this is what they are hoping to do. So, and Akhilesh Bhatia asks, do you think Russia have any chance of winning this war? I think Russia would definitely win this war. That's my opinion. I'm not pro-Russia. I'm just saying that for sure Russia is going to win. It's just like you're asking me Iran versus the England, who will win. I will tell you England confirm will win, but it's not because I'm pro England. It's just obvious that England will win. So, and Justin Brook, I do not know who is he, implies game over for Russia in his latest interview, as well as other Western academics and strategic experts. I don't. So I do not think any of these major retreat signifies the end of Russian military, or is a defeat on a strategic sense. It's not. It's a defeat, maybe in a tactical sense. Like, because Russia, is very pragmatic in this war. They don't think they can hold certain fronts with the kind of troops that they have, so they don't hold it. They just retreat to a more defendable line. For example, they don't have enough troops to secure Kharkiv, so they just give it up. They cannot secure the Izium front. They just give it up because they were in transition. You see, the contract soldiers all left, and then whoever soldiers that they have, they need them to do training of the mobilized troops, and then the mobilized troops are not there yet. There was no one at the front at Izium, at Balaklia. So the withdrawal is just the Ukrainians pick the right moment when the Russian defenses are weak. They do not have enough manpower, and they actually invaded and pushed through, and the Russians have to retreat. But that was when Russia do not have mobilization. We have to understand that the Russians did not do any mobilization from the beginning of the war until only recently. They only have the contract troops. They are regular professional troops, which have a 6-month contract, and then in this 6-month contract, when it's up, they have to all go, and they have to let them go. So which is why then after the 6-month period, Russia have some kind of manpower problem, and then we have this annexation thing, and then mobilization. So no, Russia, without a doubt, to me, they will win the war. Unfortunately for the Ukrainians and for the pro-Ukrainians that are viewing here, I just cannot see how Ukraine can win this war. And remember, Ukraine is now in their, I think I heard it's 7th or 9th mobilization. Russia only did their first mobilization. So how, and then not to mention the Ukrainians have a lot of mercenaries, foreign mercenaries helping them fight now. And it does not feel like the progress is significant enough. And they are really trying very hard to push. So, and if you were to believe the Russian reports, the pro-Russian reports, or the Russian Defense Ministry reports, it looks like the Ukrainians lost a lot of troops in all this offensive, and even just by planning to start offensive, they get bombarded. So it's hard to say. So no, half a year from now or 1 year from now, you will know whether whoever this Justin is, or whoever those Western academics or strategic expert is correct, or this nobody here in Singapore is correct. So maybe that's interesting, right? So let me search this. Yeah, so let me look at the chat. It's going to halftime for the USA and Wales game. It's 47 minutes now into the extra time. USA is 1 Wales is 0. I'm still reading. Hi, 132 of you. How many of you guys are watching the World Cup? I'm supposed to stop the stream when the match start, but somehow I'm still here. Aircraft carriers are a bad idea. Why? Why is it a bad idea? Freiheit comfort. I don't know how do you pronounce that name. Freiheit. Do you think Ukraine will win the war? No, I don't think Ukraine can win the war. It's not. So no. First, we also need to define what is win the war. In Zelensky or their leadership's theory or narrative, winning the war means recapturing the whole of Donbass, the whole of Kherson, the whole of Zaporizhia and Crimea. That's winning the war. That means they get more land than when the war started, which is not possible. I just don't think it's possible. Russia will not concede at all. And should the war ends with Russia keeping whatever they have captured now, south of Kherson, south of Zaporizhia, half of Donetsk, half of Luhansk, both sides lose. Both Russia and Ukraine will consider this as a loss, because Russia won't keep up to their words, because they annexed the 4 regions and say that these are part of Russia, and not capturing the entire of these 4 regions will be a huge loss. So they have to conquer the whole of Zaporizhia and whole of Kherson, whole of Luhansk and whole of Donetsk. And this will go in direct contradiction to what Ukraine wants, which is a full liberation of the entire of Ukraine before 2014. So it's just not doable. There's no win. This war will just go on until someone give up. Carriers are very expensive and very vulnerable. Carriers are a power projection. If you have a carrier, most of the countries will not be able to win against you. You have to understand, a single carrier, let's say a United States super carrier, a single carrier have more firepower and air force than most of the country in the world. That's how powerful a super carrier is. But the Chinese and the Indians or the Russian carriers is much smaller, so they do not carry that many planes. But the American super carrier, a single carrier is more powerful than many of the country's air force. So a single carrier would overwhelm. For example, let's say United States go to war with Indonesia, for example. One single super carrier can wipe out the entire Indonesian air force. There is no way the Indonesian air force can beat the American air force. So but when you say you pit them against a peer power like Russia or China, then it's a different story altogether, because the Russians and the Chinese have hundreds to thousands of planes. Even a major military power like Singapore Air Force have over 100 fighters. That will present a massive problem for a single super carrier. But let's say the Americans send 2 super carriers, then Singapore Air Force is gone. So don't underestimate a carrier. The carrier is actually not so easy to sink. It's extremely hard to sink a carrier actually. There was this experiment. So they retired a super carrier, the Americans, and they tried to sink it. They launched all sorts of weapons at it. It just cannot sink. The stupid carrier just don't sink, even though they just strike it many times. Then in the end they have to use improvise. They have to plant bombs to destroy the carrier for it to sink. So yeah. So IRA is what? IRA is what? The Ireland Army. I don't know. Irish Revolutionary Army. What else? NGS say, what is the biggest blind spot in the Western war coverage? Um, I would say Ukrainian lies. The Ukrainians, the I think the biggest blind spot is not seeing what Ukraine is for what it is, because they in their attempt to go anti-Russia and pro-Ukraine, I think they're setting themselves up for serious problems in the future. Let's say if they win, okay, let's say if Russia give up and they withdraw and Ukraine win, they're gonna have a serious big problem of a country on their hand, because Ukraine will say that we have won this war for you, and then we want to be in NATO. How are you gonna reject Ukraine? How are you gonna reject Ukraine? Then Ukraine have so much debt to the Western powers, they can literally just blackmail the Europeans and the Americans to say, okay, we are not gonna pay. What are you gonna do about it? It's like no. And then Ukraine has done so much misinformation and propaganda and fake news in this war that it casts a very problematic character and attitude and personality on Ukraine as itself as a country. So if a person just keep lying all the time, and that this person always like to lie and like to make things up, and and then, like, for example, the Polish missile thing, they just insist that it's not their missile. If this is a person, would you still want to be his friend, or would you be very wary of this person? It's that kind of situation is very logical, and I think that this is the biggest blind spot, where the journalists are not covering the fact that Ukraine is actually not that much difference from Russia. They are essentially the same country. They are the same people. They have the same problems, the same hierarchy. They even use the same weapons previously. So it's just that one have Putin and is much bigger, one does not have. So yeah, I think the West need to realize this as soon as they can. Brian Marshall also do a super chat. He said, do you think it is the British SBS that did the Nord Stream pipeline attack? I think so. I think it's either the Americans or the British, and being it the British does not surprise me at all. It's definitely not the Russians. The Russians are not going to sabotage their own pipelines. There's no need to do that. They can just turn off the tap. So yeah. What else? From Australia, I don't care about soccer. But Australia in the World Cup? They're in the World Cup, right? Let me see. A single salvo of cruise missiles from any sufficiently advanced country will wipe out the entire carrier-based capabilities. No. You underestimate the anti-missile capability of a carrier and its escorts. The surface-to-air missiles on the ships have usually, in a decent fleet, has enough surface-to-air missiles to take out a barrage of cruise missiles. It's not so simple. You have to launch way more cruise missiles. You have to totally saturate the use a saturated attack to even hit a carrier. And if you hit the carrier, the warhead is not big enough to sink a carrier. You need to hit it so many times, and you probably only disable a carrier. Not joking. Really. It's not so simple. So IRA is fighting the British for the Northern Ireland control. I don't think they are fighting right now, right? They already have a peace treaty. I don't really know a lot about it. I think I saw a video on it and learned about the history. I think it's just sad. I think it's just sad. I don't really have much opinion about it. Yeah, it's not soccer, it's football. Yeah. So the American football is called American football. I don't call it football. No, but it's very irritating when I go to the search engine, when I search football, American football came out, and that's very irritating. They should just call it armored rugby, you know, because that's what it is, you know. American football is basically armored rugby. Just call it armored rugby. I think it's more cool. You know, don't call it football. Soccer is basically just football. Since Russia was banned from the World Cup, my team will be Serbia. Yeah, I actually you know, super pissed off with the disqualification of Russia. I think that is entirely wrong. We always say don't mix politics with football, and then FIFA and UEFA just mixed it, and I hate it. I think that it corrupts the football, because why can North Korea fight for qualification for the World Cup and then Russia have to be kicked out? Makes no freaking sense. So yeah, and not to mention Afghanistan also have a football team, and they are also playing in the World Cup qualifiers. So no, so why Afghanistan can play? No, they don't even have a recognized government. The Taliban is not recognized by most Western countries. So yeah, I don't like this hypocrisy. I hate it. I super hate hypocrisies. NGS asked, no, will the West find reason to drop its support? Oh, I think that the West will find a lot of reasons to drop the support. But the problem is, they can't. They're trapped. Russian withdrawal from Kherson is a freaking trap. It's very funny. The Russians are worried about resupply to northern Kherson, because the Dnipro crossings has all been destroyed. So you know, resupplying and reinforcement is very hard. You know, everything have to go through by boat, and this pontoon under the Antonovsky Bridge, and it's not very convenient. So you know, the Russians are very wary that if the Novakhovka Dam is destroyed, and then the flooding will make the river even wider, and the water to be even stronger, the current will be stronger, and then it will be much more harder to resupply. So which is why the Russians give up the entire northern shore of Dnipro River in Kherson. But it is also a trap, because the Russians didn't want this war to continue now. Previously, the Russians want the war to end. Now the Russians want the war to continue because they have already changed their strategic plan. It's no longer about Ukraine. Now Russia's plan is to unseat and totally destroy the Western or American led economic structure or geopolitical structure. The G7 cannot be G7 if the G7 is all broke. You understand my point? So if Russia can use the winter, the lack of oil, the high oil price or whatever to destroy the G7's economy, and you know, because of the war cause all this inflation, and they also got the Saudi on board. The entire OPEC is on board with Russia. So the oil price is not going to drop anytime soon. It's never going to drop anytime soon. The West pissed off Venezuela. They pissed off Iran. So Venezuela and Iran is definitely not on the ball. They pissed off Algeria. Algeria is now pro-Russia. So there is the entire OPEC plus is on the side of Russia. Russia is now on a totally different strategic objective. They are no longer about just liberating Donbass. They want this war to continue. They want to crush the Western-led world. So that's why, you know, the withdrawal from Kherson, right, is a trap, because Ukraine needs a victory to justify more help from the West, to justify more armament, ammunition, weaponry supply from the West. And with this, you know, massive defeat at Kherson, or massive victory by the Ukrainians at Kherson, the West have no choice but to actually, you know, continue to support Ukraine. Because you see, the Ukraine can just say, no, oh, because of your support, now we have won Kherson. Now with even more support, imagine what we can do. And then the Western powers will be like, they have no choice. And in fact, if their own analysts do not see through the fog of war, and they really believe that the Ukrainians are winning, then they will give the wrong advice to their leaders, and the leaders will actually, you know, really commit more weapons and more money to Ukraine. and then they will further collapse their own economy because the war drags on. The oil price will continue to be high, inflation will continue to be high, and they will destroy their own economy. So the Russians, dragging on the war is so beneficial for them in the geopolitical front. And so if the West start to realize that they go into technical recession and then recession, they will start to change, I believe, because they will start to see the problem is so huge that if they continue to support Ukraine or they continue to boycott Russia or not work with Russia, and that will spell the end of them, drive them back 20 years. I don't think many countries would want that. So Turkey said as much already. So let's see how Turkey already said, they're going to kill themselves by isolating Russia. So Turkey is very happy. K Smith, yes, it's currently 4 a.m. now in Singapore. I'm watching the World Cup, but end up I'm talking to you guys. So the World Cup is screening here. I didn't on the sound. So USA is winning 1-0 against Wales. Zoom soon. Wow, DPA is smarter than Sleepy Joe. I'm not sure. Joe Biden, you can't be stupid and then end up becoming a president of the United States. You have to be something. You must have some context, some ways, or something. If not, it's not so easy to become the US president. Just that the way how he get there, we do not know. So he might have his certain ways. Maybe it's not about smartness. Maybe it's about scheminess, or maybe it's about context. Anything. So yeah, actually, the Akhilesh Bhatia. What currency is that actually? What currency is this? Indian rupee. Oh, okay, that's Indian rupee. Oh, the 1,000 Indian rupee actually lasts super long. I think it's very interesting how the money is actually being counted on YouTube. Oh, there's 163 of you guys. Hi everyone. Why are you not watching World Cup and watching me? So for those that are just here, please go to the DPA channel, go to channels, click channels, go to DPA War, subscribe. Please subscribe to the DPA War channel. And I was a bit pissed. I cannot get this. Now the YouTube introduced this handle thing, right? I cannot get DPA War. Like DPA War, right? I cannot get it. Because there's this guy called D Power. Took it. Oh my freaking god. D Power. So basically D Power is DPA War. Freaking hell. So he took the DPA War, so like fuck. So now so you have to put DPA dash war, and then you will get to DPA War channel for the handle. So yeah. Hi Ocean. Hi Brian Marshall. Hi Glenn. Hi Travis. Yeah, subscribe to the DPA War channel because really in the future all the Ukraine war stuff will be here. At least the the war reporting. I want to move the SID here as well, so the SID and the analysis will all be here. So subscribe here. Then I will be so that the main channel I can actually cover more geopolitics and other stuff that is not war reporting. Thanks race country. Thanks Midwest poker. Hi Glenn Todd. Hi Joko Triple Three. Did the Ukrainians mess with your signals? What signals? I don't know. R51 R400 asks who does Singapore government support, Ukraine or Russia? If you want to know the truth, Singapore is actually probably more pro-Russia. Yeah, actually probably more pro-Russia. Because we don't really have much links with Ukraine, to be honest. We don't have much links with Ukraine. We have more links with Russia, but we sanctioned Russia. Singapore actually financially sanctioned Russia, and then Russia has, as a result, listed Singapore as an unfriendly country. But since then, there's a backlash in the Singaporean population, because the Singapore population were questioning why the hell are we sanctioning Russia and not United States when United States go to war in Iraq or Afghanistan. You know, there's no logic to why we are interfering in a war that is none of our business, that is so far away. So, and the government struggled really hard to explain, and it was not very successful. The people were not happy about the sanctioning of Russia because it's really not our problem. So that's also my view. You know, I think that is a huge mistake to sanction Russia, and I'm totally justified. As we can see, Russia is getting stronger and stronger geopolitically. The BRICS is getting stronger and stronger. The Shanghai Cooperation Organization is also getting stronger. More and more countries are joining BRICS, and Singapore is kind of trapped because we went to sanction Russia, and now we are kind of like standing at the byline, not knowing what to do. We not sure if you can join or we shouldn't join, kind of situation. So it's kind of stupid. So, you know, I felt that I'm totally right, that Singapore should not have sanctioned Russia. It is not a Singaporean thing to do. Singapore kind of governments had always been very pragmatic, and we are always very realist. We don't take sides. We try to be as neutral as we can, and we don't meddle with problems that does not affect our own national interests. So I'm not sure what the United States did to threaten the Singapore government, or, you know, to wing hood Singapore government into sanctioning Russia is extremely stupid, because Singapore is actually, if I'm not wrong, the biggest the country that Russia invested the most overseas. So Russia don't really invest much overseas, and they actually and the country that they invested the most in is actually in Singapore. So I find that I was surprised when I first saw that number. So yeah, I think that's kind of stupid. Singapore government have backtracked a bit. In recent UN votings, Singapore had abstained quite a number of the votes against Russia. So yeah, did Singapore admit to following the Washington rules? No. Singapore government cannot admit that they follow the Americans in any way. Firstly, we are not supposed to. We are supposed to be neutral. We are non-aligned. Singapore is part of the non-aligned movement, so we're not supposed to be aligning with anyone. That's number one. Secondly, Singapore generally is not pro-American. Although we are very westernized, we are not particularly, say, outright pro-US. So because we see things as it is, we saw US launch war in Iraq, in Afghanistan, so we know it. We see things as it is. It's just as I say it as it is. So, which is why, you know, the Singapore government cannot admit to, you know, towing the American lines. Yeah. Yeah, Russia invested in Singapore, but Singapore is the biggest. The investment in Singapore is the biggest among all the countries Russia invested, but in terms of numbers, it's actually not that big, which is why, you know, Singapore, maybe the government calculated that, okay, not that big, so we can sanction. No, but I think it's a huge mistake. I just think it's a stupid thing to do. Do you watch At the Age of the Abyss, the battle for Mariupol through the eyes of weakness trailer? It's really good. No, I haven't watched it yet. Or maybe I've watched it, but I didn't know I watched it. Yeah, I haven't watched it yet. Maybe I will check it out. Oh, what currency sign is that? Is that Israeli. That is a very weird, like Pisces looking currency. Fine. There is no word for it. What the hell is what currency is that? Command unit. Command unit. What currency is that? Why I Google it and there's no answer to what is it? There's no result for it. What the hell is it? Bizarre. If you're not aligned, you can still object to an illegal invasion. You can object, but you don't have the sanction. It's not our problem. Do you know that Singapore is the biggest investor of the military junta runs Myanmar? So before Myanmar have their democratic election where Aung San Suu Kyi's party won, previously it's still a military junta. Singapore don't care about any of the sanctions on Myanmar. Singapore is the biggest investor in Myanmar, and in fact we are so invested in Myanmar that in Myanmar they can basically trade in two different currencies: the Burmese kyat, their own Burmese currency, and Singaporean dollars. Singaporean dollars is more circulated in Myanmar than US dollars. So think about that. We don't even give a damn about the military junta. Why the hell are we caring about Russian invasion of Ukraine? I tell you, it's hypocrisy. So it's nonsensical. We should not care at all. That is the Singaporean way. We don't care at all, and suddenly we care makes no freaking sense. So that's just how it is. With the opening of the year-long navigation of the Northern Sea route due to Russia, they will earn so much money, because then Singapore will suffer. Yeah, that's all. Because now a lot of the trade routes have to go through the Suez Canal, go through the Indian Ocean, Malacca Strait, go through Singapore, then they can reach China. Now they can actually go through the northern route, through the Arctic Ocean, go around. But because now there is massive sanctions, the Western Europe do not want to trade with Russia, so there's no reason for trading route to go through Russian waters. So it's not going to change anything until Western Europe going to be friendly with Russia. What do you think about Amos Yee? I think he's an idiot. So I actually did a video on him as well. Let me find the video for you. So before DPA blew up, I actually have this channel called Walking Problem, Common Bat. Walking Problem is my my alias, online alias, and Common Bat is basically the so-called the show. And I actually did a video on Amos Yee. Where the hell is Amos Yee? Amos Yee. So this video is about the inconvenient specimen of Western hypocrisy. So I talked 22 minutes about it. So yeah, basically I don't really like him at all. I think he's a very stupid person. Yeah, so I think he got duped by this Western American concept of freedom and freedom of speech. He didn't realize that freedom of speech comes with responsibility. So so for those that don't understand, who don't know what the hell is happening, Amos Yee, basically he's a very young guy. He's a teenager in Singapore. Well, when he got into trouble in Singapore, so he was doing videos on YouTube. So not very different from me on this Common Bat channel. And then he basically he basically say some controversial things about the government, anti-government or something like that. So he gains a lot of views, and he realized that he can earn money from it. So that means then he realized I can earn money from being controversial, not saying shit, and I can say whatever I want and I can earn money about it. Pretty much what I'm doing now. so he got excited, and he just doubled down, And when his views, probably, I guess, because this is a vicious cycle that YouTubers go through, when his views drop, he realized that he need to be more controversial. So he just get more and more controversial, to the point where he start to take aim at the ruling family, so, and the government and all these things. Then, and the general population is just pissed off with him. Singaporeans are just think that he's an idiot. Then finally he say some things. I think so. What happened? What happened is that I think the government did not sue him. I think, did he? Let me think. I cannot remember if he got sued. I think so. Then he's supposed to serve the army, so it's time for him, the age have reached. He's supposed to join the national service to serve the army. He ran away. He ran to United States, and then he applied for asylum. So, and then when he was there, he applied for asylum, and then he got jailed for half a year or more, or 1 year, 1.5 years, to go through the asylum process, which is kind of funny because he thought that he would go to a country with freedom. End up he lost his freedom for a very, very long time, just because he's applying for asylum. So finally he got his asylum, he got free, he got his whatever card that allows him to stay in the United States, and then he restarted a new YouTube channel. And then, of course, what is the game plan? The game plan is to create videos that are controversial, right? So, but he cannot talk about Singapore stuff because nobody in Singapore give a damn about him anymore. We hate him, so we don't really care about him. So any video that he made would have no traction. So he say, okay, let's maybe look at the market in United States. What controversial thing can he say? So of all things that he could have chosen, he chose pedophilia. So he chose to talk about pedophiles, and then talk about pedophilia is okay. Liking children is okay. So that's what he did. And then of course then he got massive outrage in United States, and then he got arrested, and then he go to jail. Yeah, that's what happened. So Common Bat looks like you. Yeah, because that's me. This is my this is my channel before DPA blew up. I didn't really do much video here anymore. Singapore market is too small, and then yeah, the views are horrendous. You see, most of them don't even go through 100. Yeah, so this kind of videos doesn't work in Singapore, I guess. There's no market for it, I guess. Maybe I'm not interesting. So DPA, what do you think that Japan and China, sorry, I lost the message. Where is it? Oh, do you think that Japan and Britain are still receiving oil and gas from Russia? Yeah, because if they don't, they will be dead. And even when they do it, it's already pretty high prices. Japan already made it very clear they cannot live without Russian oil and gas. So I have no freaking idea what Japan is doing. I think it's a huge mess. It's a total contradiction to rhetoric versus action. They say all sorts of things. They try to support Ukraine. Then in the end, they insisted that they cannot live without Russian oil and gas. Anyone's guess? I just feel that countries should really stick to their national interest. If not, things will get very complicated. You mentioned in one of your videos something about accepting articles to be published in DPA. What topics? What quality levels? Is you planning on doing that, and where could people? So there is already quite a few people that had answered my call. So for those that are not, for those new people, because I never seen what you write, the quality of writing, I wouldn't say I expect very high, but just decent would be good enough. The important thing is basically the content. You have to be talking about things that people might not know about. I think that's the case. And any topic that you like to talk about is okay, because the best is there's something that that is part of your country, your own country's politics, that most of the world will not know. That is the best. And and there are already people that are submitting. What I need is at least the first article or examples of the articles that you have written before, so that I have some reference to see whether you're good enough. That inside the Discord channel, there's actually a forum for the editorial team. So the editorial team have its own forum, and then we can manage the projects inside. And the articles themselves, like for example this article by Alex, he wrote, and then I actually edited to add in all the images and links and everything. So he only write the text, and but the writing itself has no money. There's no money for writing. But when the writing get converted into a video, then if the video makes money, then there is profit sharing. So that's the plan. So hopefully, if anyone likes to write and like to share their views, DPA can be an avenue for you to write your articles and share your views. But there's no money in it until I make it into a video. But making it into the video, there is cost to involve. So there might not be a lot of money or any money at all, especially if you lose money. So let's see how it goes. But I think this is part of the reason why I have to move all the war reporting to the war channel, so that in the main channel we can start to do this kind of videos about other things that might be interesting, and then these videos can be more edited, because all the war reporting is all one take. I just record and then I just talk one take. There's no editing. So for this type, that I can actually do more editing, add in more footages and everything, to make it more interesting and more professional a bit, I guess. Cooking channel. My mom is addicted to a Malaysian cooking channel recently, or rather not recently, but she's watching it like every day. I'm so blown away. Could you link the channel DPA? Which Charles K? Which channel are you talking about? Which channel link are you talking about? Comment back. Why is Klaus Schwab at the G20? What country does he run? No idea. Japan is still occupied all these years after the war. Okay. This is something that I want to talk about as well. I do not think Japan or Taiwan, or be it Singapore, none of these countries are occupied or controlled by other countries. Like, to be seriously, not even Taiwan. Taiwan is not controlled by the Americans. This is just people who don't really understand the region well enough. They're saying that Taiwan politics is basically an open democracy. It's really a democracy. They vote in a pro China president previously, and then now they have an anti-China president. So there is they are controlled by the Americans. No such thing. Not Singapore as well. Singapore is very independent. Japan, to me too. It's just that in terms of the military posture, in terms of for power balancing purposes, there's a need for the Americans to be around. So you have to understand how big China is and how big their military is. So it's not a joke, when you are living near such a powerful country or such a big country like China, which is why we need the Americans to be around as a counterbalance against the Chinese presence. Ultimately, China is just very near. If they go to war, China have an advantage of being near. So having the Americans have bases nearby or in the country helps. At least for South Korea and Japan case, it helps to deter China or North Korea from trying to do something stupid. So, but if you say they are being occupied by Americans and controlled by the Americans, I don't think so. Because if they are, then there is no Abenomics. There's no Abenomics, the Shinzo Abe's economic policies. There is no the economic policies will be different. Japan will not be so competitive against the Americans. It'll be a lot more like South Vietnam, like like where they have a puppet government and then they get overthrown by the people. So or the Afghan government. The Afghan government is controlled by the Americans, so which is totally corrupt and failed their purpose entirely. So yeah, not that. So Japan, Taiwan, Singapore, all these countries, no, they are not really controlled by the Americans. Yeah. What else? Let me Can you explain how Iran drone built with EU and USA is really parts? So please stop saying sanctions will some things, especially where still ships oil. Huh? Okay, not my conversation. How can you say there's no US in Taiwan? Have you heard NGO and US aids, US democracy groups? Then why the hell the Taiwanese eliminated the national service under the pro-China president? The Americans can have NGOs on the ground, they can try to do whatever shit they want, espionage. The Chinese, the CCP, China, the PRC, the People's Republic of China, they are also doing the same thing. They are also sending agents and espionage groups and whatever to try to influence the politics. That is not control. That is just influence operation. The Chinese and the Americans are doing that in Singapore as well, and so far not very successful. And Singapore government have been really brutal against them. So yeah, that's not just like you think the Americans are controlling Zelensky. I don't think so. The Americans are helping. They wanted, they're pushing, nudging, but to say control, not that much. The way how Zelensky is running Ukraine, I don't think is how the Americans would control Ukraine be like. So that's just how I think. So how many missiles do Russia have? I do have no idea. They can always build more. So any number will be wrong, because if you are producing missiles every day and you're also using missiles every day, how do you know what's the actual number? Nobody will know what's the actual number. Yo, Commander Chayat, how are you dressing when Russian will trial Zelensky? I'm preparing my smoking and I went to prom with. No, but what is okay? Are you talking about clothes, dressing? I don't really care. I also don't think Russia will trial Zelensky. I don't think Zelensky might have a chance to even talk to Russian. He might get assassinated by his own people to even be anywhere near a negotiation. Melkor Borgil have a super chat. He was ready to negotiate until NATO said stop. That's what the rumors say. This is not official. This is only what people are propagating, especially the pro-Russian side. I personally don't exactly think so. I think he was ready to negotiate in terms of talk, and then the British, the UK, the Boris Johnson came in and then say that we will support you if you want to fight on, something like that. We're going to give you weapons or whatever. And then Zelensky changed his mind. Maybe something like that. I do not think that is like, NATO tell them to stop and then they stop. I don't think that's the case. But maybe, of course, they might advise, maybe the NATO advised Zelensky say that if you do, then there are certain consequences. Maybe. But it's still up to Zelensky to decide whether to negotiate or not. And Zelensky definitely will choose to fight on, because you have to understand the politics in Ukraine is terrible. There is the Azov battalion, the nationalists. They are all crazy people. They are having a lot of control or influence within the military and the government. And Zelensky have to deal with these people. And Zelensky is not that kind of nationalist. They are not the Azov. He is not the Nazi or the neo-Nazis. Zelensky is not that kind of person. But he have to deal with this kind of people within his country, and these people are also his citizens. and they have influence, so he have to deal with them. So have the war continuing will allow these people to all die. I think that helps in his politics. And I'm not sure what is his consideration, but I think Zelensky wants to go all in, because you have to understand that if he had negotiated too early, he will be assassinated, or he will be shrouded by future Ukrainian government as traitors, as a traitor, to have signed away, Ukrainian territory to Russia. So there is actually no way out for Zelensky. I think I mentioned this long time ago, maybe in an interview or something, half a year ago. I already said Zelensky have no choice. He have to fight on. There is no exit. There's no exit for him. There is no happily ever after for him. That's what I think. I haven't been watching the football at all. It's 74 minutes already. Do you watch the World Cup? Yes, it's actually screening just beside me. Ta-da! Yeah, but I wasn't even watching at all. I was talking to you guys. So, how many F-57 did they build? I don't know. Yeah. So 75 minute, USA 1, Wales 0. So anyway, any more questions? Oh, well, I just saw one. Malcolm Borges sent another super chat. He said, you seriously think that the actor decides anything? Oh yes, I definitely think that he decides many things, like 100%. It's easy for us to think that he doesn't, but I watch him, I observe and watch his body language, the way he talk. Yeah, of course we can say that he's an actor, but he looks like he's in charge. Like seriously. Of course he doesn't make all the decisions. He don't make all the decisions. He have advisors, be it within Ukraine or outside of Ukraine, but most of the decisions most of the major decisions seems to be made by him. I don't think that he's as puppet as what people think he is, because of, you see the way how he meet foreign leaders, you see the way how he acts. It doesn't look like he don't know what he's doing. No, he looks a lot more ready and know what he's doing than Biden. Biden looks like sometimes he doesn't look like he knows what he's talking about, but Zelensky always seems to know what he's talking about. But the thing is, he's not a very honest person as well. Zelensky, he's not very honest. So that is the biggest problem I have with him. He's not the hero that many pro-Ukraine people think he is. Unfortunately, I'm just saying things as a fact. If he is more heroic, I would say he is. But he do lies a lot. He make things up. He give awards. How the for the sit rep, right? For the first comment, I always give the title of the hero viewer of DPA YouTube channel. You know why this come from? This come from the first month of war, where Zelensky is giving out the title of a hero of Ukraine liberally. Like, he just anyhow give the hero award to random people. Like, just do little things like the Snake Island, they surrendered, but just because the person say fuck you to the Russians, he got awarded a hero medal. So he was awarded, he's a hero of Ukraine. So which is why I started off this entire as a joke, giving the first commenter the title of the hero viewer of DPA YouTube channel, because I also find that the terminology, the title is like super long, so unnecessarily long. So like I followed as well. It's just a joke. So, and Zelensky government, because maybe they are mostly from the entertainment industry, which is why everything is about branding and packaging, and that's what they did. Lying doesn't seem to be a problem with them, as long as the message is get across. So is one way to do things, but it's not my way of doing things. So yeah, that's just how it is. That's the reality. That's the reality, unfortunately. All my suspicion were confirmed when Zelensky tried to start World War III over his own air defense missile hitting Poland. I think the Poland thing, right, is one of the first time where some of these pro-Ukrainian people, especially the Polish, start to realize that, holy shit, he insisted that that is not Ukrainian. No, then it's like, what is this Zelensky trying to do? Like not for everyone, but for a subset of people, this is the first time they realize there's something wrong with Zelensky and his government, trying to pull NATO into war, say things that they themselves don't think to be true. They themselves also don't believe that it is a Russian missile. But of course, there are people who believe that it's Russian missile, so they are okay with it. But but for this subset of people that don't believe, this is the first time they start to doubt Zelensky's words and the Ukrainian words. And then I believe that this will escalate and they will start to get worse, because as people start to learn, they start to, they will start to be more observant about the Ukrainian words and how they describe incidents. And then slowly they will start to go backwards and then start to look at Bucha and Balaklia or whatever, Kupians. They start to, and Mariupol, they start to look at all these things and really question everything that Ukraine have said. Like for me, I covered the war from day one. I have seen things firsthand as it comes out, and then I got duped so many times. So and for those that are watching World Cup, Wales got a penalty against United States. Gareth Bale will be taking the penalty. It's 80th minute. So let's watch the penalty. It's Bale versus this American keeper called Turner. Oh, the Wales fans cannot see. They just cover their eyes. Yeah, Charles K said he saw a few pro-Ukrainians beginning to question what happened. Yeah, I mean, they broke ranks. Like this. About this article is exactly about this thing. Bale scored 1-1. Go! Fuck the Americans! And there's a lot of Wales, people from Wales in America. A lot of Welsh people in America. Right? Wow, they're so hyped. Wow. So yeah, for me, I just like good football. So no, it doesn't matter who win, USA or Wales. It doesn't matter, because in the end, it's not going to be USA or Wales winning the World Cup. Alberto, Commander, you are just put into charge of the SMO by Sirovikin, and there's no Putin holding you back. How will you fix the SMO? How will I fix the SMO? I will ask for another 600,000 troops. I will ask for another 600,000 troops first. And then I will use heavy bombers and bomb the shit out of all the fortified positions. Like, really, do the World War II strategic bombing on all these fortified positions. But that's fantasy. If you play some games, you will know, War Game Red Dragon or something like that. You will know that it doesn't work. It doesn't work that easily. It's very hard to build to break a defense, a well defended position. Yeah. Singapore nationalism is a thing. How would you explain it? Yeah, Singapore nationalism is a thing. I'm a Singapore nationalist. And because we used to inculcate this Singapore nationalism in Singapore when I was young, especially during those days, because if we do not have this nationalism, this pride in the Singapore identity, Singapore will collapse, because Singapore is a very small country. So and Singapore has over the years become so successful, and we done well in so many areas. We have the best airport, we have one of the best airlines, which used to be the best airline as well. I'm not sure if it's still the best airline, but among the best. We used to have the best taxi, we have awarded the best bus system once upon a time, best taxi system once upon a time. We have a lot of best, a lot of things. So, and then we also have our own way of speaking English, which is called Singlish. We have a lot going to create a very unique identity of Singapore. Like Singaporeans, the way how we speak English, is very evident. You there is this strong Singaporean identity. So as a result, there is a strong Singaporean pride, which is where the nationalism is. So and because we are strong, we have a strong military, so we don't really like to be bullied. So which is where the nationalism comes as well. But it's not ultra nationalism. It's not what Ukraine having problem with. Ukraine have ultra nationalism problem, and like the Azov battalion, these are ultra nationalism. These are actually bad. These are negative. So because these are the ones that will pick a fight with other countries, and which is not good. Singapore have the healthy version of nationalism. Like the Americans have they are proud of their country. Like any country. Indians are very proud of their country as well. I think every country, I guess you guys also are very proud of your own country. Standard nationalism are all okay. It's good. If not, how do you watch a World Cup if you have no nationalism? You don't love your country. World Cup would be meaningless, right? So, command unit. I personally think an offensive towards Lviv from Belarus now would do some serious damage to Ukrainian supply lines to the west. Yeah, I also think so. The problem is the Belarusian don't want to get into the war. I think Lukashenko make it pretty clear to Putin, I guess, behind closed door, that Belarus don't want to go to war at all, as much as they can, and they will help to put up a show to keep Ukrainians on the toe, to distract their forces away from the front line. But they are not going to enter war unless Poland go to war, because if Poland enters Ukraine, then it will create a situation that threatens the national security of Belarus. So which is why Lukashenko did warn that if ever Poland enters Ukraine, Belarus will go to war in Ukraine. So which is what also deterring Poland from entering the Ukraine war in an open way. So yeah. Your Singaporean slang is dead on. Yum, 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 yum. Singapore equals discount Chinese. What the hell is a discount Chinese? I'm not sure how you put it. Overseas Chinese, including people in Taiwan, right, we are the real Chinese, where we kept all the culture and the heritage and traditions of the Chinese culture. The Chinese people in China, most of them has lost their tradition and culture because of the Cultural Revolution. So a lot of the traditions, like ancestral worship, praying to our pantheon, to the deities, a lot of the traditions actually are lost in China, and you actually have to go overseas to find them, be it in Indonesia, Malaysia, in Taiwan, or in Singapore. A lot of these cultures and traditions are still living, and it's no longer, most of it is not in China anymore. There are still, definitely in China, there are still people who still practice it, practice it, and there are still some of this Chinese culture going around, and then they are now trying to revitalize this Chinese culture back. But the Communist Party also very not sure, because they do not want to do not want to encourage too much, because they don't want the people to become religious. So it's like, it's a kind of a not here not there situation. So to say discount Chinese, I don't know. One I'm not sure if you have heard me say this before. In Singapore, we call ourselves the nationality first, then the race. So I'm a Singaporean Chinese, or Singaporean Indian, Singaporean Malay. It's always the nationality come first. It's never the race come first. It's not like in the United States. It's always the Black American, Chinese American, Asian American, Latino American. The race come first in America. The race is more important than the nationality of Americanness. In Singapore, is not the case. It's always the nationality will come first. We are one people first, then the race. So racism, of course, still exists in Singapore, but largely, it's not really a big problem. So yeah, it's something that you can think about it. Never put race before nationality, or never put religion before nationality. The religious leader, or whoever the country is, where the race come from, they are not going to give a damn about your life. Only your country, your people will care about it. So this is my advice for you guys. Is Singapore geopolitically like Taiwan, or potentially so one day? No, Singapore is not like Taiwan in the sense that we are a full-fledged country. Taiwan is not a full-fledged country, because Taiwan have a confusing situation where they are China. Taiwan is actually China. They are Republic of China, and the China that we know is People's Republic of China. So there's two China, which is why there is this idea of there's a one China policy. There can only be one China. So that is why every country will say we all adhere to the one China policy, but it's not a adherence of we all believe in a Communist Party China is the only China policy. You understand? No? There's a one China policy, but it's not a only Communist Party China is the China policy. That's the difference. So that's why Taiwan is in this deep shit, because they are also China. Yeah, so it's totally different than Singapore. Civic nationalism, yeah, perhaps. How long have you been following the conflict? From day one. I reported the war since day one. I have video to prove it. You go to playlist, defend politics pages, you go to playlist, you go to Ukraine war. Oops. You go to Ukraine war playlist, and you sort by the oldest. Day one. So Ukraine war sit rep day one. Russia attacking on 5 fronts. On day 2 and 3, Ukrainian city resilient, southern breakdown, and then on day 4, the northern stalemates continue because the Russians were stuck. They were stuck at Sumy and Chernihiv, and then they were stuck at, I think, Kharkiv as well. And then after that, the Russian forces continued to go, and then they captured Berdyansk, and then they continued to spread eastward, and then they actually and then the Battle of Mariupol begins. So it's very fast, by day 4 and 5, the Russians are already at the gates of Mariupol. So, and as you can see, there are unconfirmed reports of Belarus entering Chernihiv, but no, that's not true. And then of course, then Russia captured Starobilsk, which is a very major event, because that's the start of the collapse of the Luhansk defense. And yeah, I covered from day one. So people who question my knowledge of the Ukraine war, sometimes I get rather pissed off, because they don't know who are they talking about, who are they talking to. Yeah. So yeah, so I know what I'm talking about for most cases. Aware of the 2014 Donbass War, how it started? Yeah, I'm aware, but no, I was DPA, no, in 2014. I don't think it's a thing. Let me see. I actually also not sure. Let me find the Facebook page. So DPA Facebook page, about. So this crap, live event. No, this is not the right page. I want to find where we Facebook really messed up the thing. This is not page. This is not the page. Let me change to my personal one. Maybe this will show it better. About, goodness, detail page, yeah, 2017. So the DPA DPA Facebook page is created on the November 16, 2017. So currently we have, I didn't celebrate, but it's like a 5-year anniversary for DPA already. Despite the channel, this YouTube channel is actually just exploded less than a year ago, but DPA itself has been around for a much longer time. So that is 2017. So in 2014, when the Donbass exploded, I was only watching and understanding. I watch Russia Today sometimes, and then try to understand what the hell is happening, but not in detail. Like I said, the Ukraine is so far away. It's like a backwater. It's backwater of Europe. No one give a damn about Ukraine. So the nobody really cares about what happened in Ukraine, which is exactly what happened. Nobody really cares. Not even the Europeans. No one cares about what happened in Ukraine. Very few people cares. Which is why when the war started, everybody started to pro Ukraine, and I was like, where were you, over the past 8 years? It's nonsensical. What else? And the football match is like 96 minutes already, so the match is going to be over. instead of a stream that supposed to end when the match starts, now I gone through the entire football match doing this live stream, and I didn't really watch the game. Want to try looking at the 2014 front line? Yeah, I saw some images before. So common unit super chatter said want to try looking at the 2014 front line. I know that it was quite crazy. The rebels, which is eventually become the Donbass forces, they captured some ground, and then they got pushed back, and then they counter attack, and then captured more grounds. And then the front line just stuck. But it's not very important today, if you ask me, because the rebels are never going to win, and without Russia actually supporting the Donbass, the republics, they were never going to win the war. So which is only until this year, when Russia actually invaded to try to liberate the two republics, that it becomes meaningful. Otherwise, it's just a tragedy. I watched some of this documentary from Russia Today. I think it's just so sad. The old people. It's just so sad. And everyone knows that there's no solution. There's just no solution to it. So it's just like the Kurds. Like the Kurdistans, the Kurds, the Kurds in Syria and northern Iraq. There's no solution. They are always going to be oppressed by by Turkey, Syria, and Iraq and Iran. They are just stuck. So until someone is going to go there and parachute down and help them and save them, yeah, that's the fate. So unfortunately, So just like today now in Ukraine, the Ukrainians are going to suffer the fate now. They are the one that is stuck now. There is no escape for the Ukrainians. Their country is going to continue to be in war and in a total war state until the leaders give up. So it's not that meaningful. Yep. So for you guys who have not subscribed to DPA War channel, check out the pin message, DPA War channel. Please go and subscribe. Yeah, you really need to subscribe. Like, no, yes, really. Yeah, this one. Go to channels, DPA War, subscribe this. In fact, if you are here already, might as well just subscribe to everything. That will make me happy. Just subscribe to everything. And if you like the live chat and especially the open mic, subscribe to DPA IRL. Okay, DPA IRL is the main place where I will be hosting the open mic. Main place. Although sometimes I might host it here because there's a bigger population here in the main channel, but this is the channel you should subscribe to. Yeah. What the hell is the football match playing to 100 minutes? The match is now 100 minutes. Why the extra times are so long? Oh, the keeper was out. Okay. I didn't watch. You guys see, you guys are watching. I'm not even watching. Goodness. So for those that use Discord, do check out the Discord. I didn't put the Discord here. Do check out the Discord and then donates People's Republic, donates People's Army. There is a draw. It's full time already. USA 1, Wales 1. So the mighty United States cannot even beat the tiny Wales. So sad. Cannot do World Cup streams. I don't have the license to do it. Doing World Cup streams will just get me, totally end my YouTube career. So I'm not gonna do that. It's 5 a.m. here in Singapore already. So it's time for me to sleep, and I still need to work tomorrow. When I say work, is like I have my design work of my design work, my other professional work, so my own business as well, and then I have this DPA, which is also my other business. I have 2 full-time jobs. So at the edge of the abyss, Mariupol trailer 10.10. So let me find it. At the edge of the abyss. Okay, so I dropped the link. We have command unit. Command unit is recommending. It says it's a 10.10. This at the edge of the abyss Mariupol trailer. It looks like I haven't watched it before, so I just dropped the link, and I gonna replace the pin message. Can check it out since he highly recommended. So do check it out. Maybe it's very nice. I think it should be very nice. Actually, we can watch it here also. We can watch it together. How do I not get copyright strike? I make it smaller so that I don't get copyright strike. Maybe half the volume. Let's watch this together. So the stream is now a reaction stream. Me reacting to video. Wow, I like the camera. 4 weeks with a strike team. Singapore's biggest threat, in my opinions, is China. China is the biggest threat to Singapore. God, he used the camera, people would think that it's a weapon. The enemy line of sight.
Кто-то шароёбился, может наши.
They make war look so cool, but war is hell. Wow. If you have been in the military before, if you have fired a rifle before, or used any of these more explosive weapons like RPG or law, you would know that it's actually fucking scary. No. Weapons that can kill is fucking scary. It's not as fun as the games. Holy shit. Wow. I'm blown away. Freaking hell. You can watch this again. The link is in the pin message, in the pin chat. Wow, that's one hell of a video. No, it's not a recruitment video. It's a documentary. It's basically like it's just a documentary, real world documentary. The cameraman followed a combat squad and documents the real fighting situation in Mariupol. Yeah. Fuck, that was horrible. Is Singapore one China policy too? Yes, Singapore adhere to the one China policy. So there is only one China. Officially, Singapore will only recognize one China. So tentatively, we recognize the People's Republic of China as the real China. So Republic of China, we still have a very good relationship with them, but they are not the China. They are not the real China. So until Republic of China win the Civil War, which the Civil War has not ended yet, if you do not know, technically Taiwan or Republic of China is actually technically still at war with the People's Republic of China. Or you can put it as whoever the ruling party is in Taiwan is actually still at war with the Chinese Communist Party. The war has not ended. The Chinese Civil War actually have a peace deal. Same as the North and South Korea. They are technically still at war. So command unit super chatted. He said that this is the perspective of the Somali battalion of the Donetsk People's Republic. So invade Singapore. Why do you want to invade Singapore? Singapore is one hell of a difficult place to invade. If you think that Vuleda is a problem, if you think that Mariupol is a problem, Singapore is a nightmare. Have you seen the map of Singapore before? The entire freaking island is just full of high-rise buildings. It's one hell of a fucking difficult place to conquer. I can tell you. I can guarantee you, it's very, very hard to conquer Singapore. So don't try. It's not worth it. I didn't study for 20 years just to die in a war. No, I'm very happy with whatever I have now. So please don't go to war. Yeah. So let me see what else. No, so it is 5 a.m. now. So I it's time to go to sleep. So thank you everyone for being here to have this chat over the football match. between United States and Wales, which ended 1-1, and yes, Chito, Malaysia doesn't want to conquer Singapore. They cannot control Singapore. Capturing Singapore would unbalance their racial ratio. We have too many Chinese here. Malaysia espouses Malay supremacy, so there is way too many Chinese in Singapore. So having Singapore in would unbalance and make the Chinese minority to be too big to ignore. So yeah, that's one of the big reasons why Singapore was kicked out of the Federation of Malaysia at the first place. Is Singapore more developed than Qatar? I think it's about the same. I think just as developed. But I think economically Singapore may be more resilient. I think Qatar is an oil country, right? Singapore belongs to Japan. I don't know why I feel so much like just hiding William Dye from the channel forever. Yeah. So anyway, Singapore will be sieged and starved. Depend on whether the whoever is going to siege Singapore have enough air force and navy to wipe out the Singapore air force and navy first. Singapore military is not built to defend. Singapore military is offensive in nature. So I'm not sure you understand what that means. The Singapore military doctrine is never to defend. It's always to attack. And we tell the world that we will do preemptive strike. That means we will attack before declaring war. We basically just tell our neighbors that this is our policy. We will do preemptive strike if we feel that we are threatened with war. So Singapore is a lot more like Israel if you talk about militarily speaking. So Singapore don't joke around. Singapore's mobilization is one hell of fast. We mobilize to war or to operational status in a super short time. It's so short that it actually frightens our neighbors. Like our reaction to the Aceh tsunami was so fast. Our navy, our air force reaction was so fast that our neighbors got shocked. So it's not a joke. Singapore military is not a joke. So anyway, it's not enough of my proud of Singapore's speech. So you say only Singapore can stand as a nation state, city state? No, Singapore is not the only city state, but Vatican City is doing pretty well. Singapore will survive as long as the economy is strong. If the economy is weak, government is weak, then I will migrate. I will migrate. Mining the waters and the land will be sufficient. It's not so simple to mine. Mining is not so straightforward. But of course, if war is easy when we just talk, but we just talk, imaginary things is very easy. But when we look at, let's say, the Ukraine war, a lot of our imagination of what modern warfare is did not came true. It's totally different, right? It's entirely different. So yeah, so it's totally nothing like how we imagine it to be. So nice quote, everybody. Nice quote. Prediction for the end of Ukraine war? No, I don't know. I really have no idea. Because I have no idea what the Russians is going to do. The Russians are so unpredictable. They don't act normally. They are very abnormal with regards to Ukraine. So I have no idea what they do. Can Singapore beat Japan? No, cannot. Japan military is stronger than Singapore's military. Like multiple times. Japan is way stronger than Singapore. Like militarily speaking, Japan has one of the most powerful military in the world. One of the most powerful ones, and they are one of the most high tech one as well, if I'm not wrong. So don't underestimate. They say that they are the self defense force. if they want to go offensive, they are quite scary. So anyway, thank you everyone for being around. There's no more World Cup. The World Cup is over. This is the last match. The World Cup is tomorrow. Yeah, the match is over. I can't watch anymore. So yeah, but I'm happy to talk to you guys. It's been 3 weeks already since I talked to you guys. So yeah, I miss talking to you guys, which is why yeah, there's this live stream. I thought I wanted to talk for half an hour. End up we talk so long, so a bit stupid. Singapore have very good relationship with the EU. Yeah, so anyway, thank you for watching. The 84 remaining guys, our girls are still watching here. Thank you so much for watching. Yeah, hopefully I answered some of your questions, which you might want to know about my opinion about. Yeah, my opinion doesn't mean that it's true. It's just my opinion. So but you can over time reflect it, my views against other analysts or YouTubers or experts, and see who is more accurate. It's more important that you do that. Just like when we watch news networks, newspaper or sources, always remember what they say. And fact check them over time, and then so that how accurate are they and how believable are they and how honest are they. Yeah, and just stop watching those that are, or stop reading those that are always giving you fake information. So so that's all, people. Thank you for watching, and let me put out a outro. And okay, so thank you everyone. Good night or good morning, people. Relentless, Orenos, Evacues, Nom Nom, Ocean, and I will see you in the next update. My outro video is gone. Okay, no outro. The outro is broken, so the video is not playing. So yeah, bye bye.